We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Types of extrinsic semiconductors. Remember, here I have used the word the major two types of extrinsic semiconductors. Why? The primary sections or the primary classification of semiconductors we have already done in our earlier lecture as intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. But when you are adding some impurities inside the intrinsic semiconductor, the semiconductor will work as an extrinsic semiconductor. Moreover, there will be improvement in its electrical conductivity. So in that particular article, we have already proven a statement that it depends on the type of impurity. That means by adding the particular impurity, what we have the excess amount of electron or we have the excess amount of holes. So when there is a case of excess electrons, we have negative type semiconductors. So this is the first type of extrinsic semiconductor, and it is defined as when a semiconductor is doped with group 5 impurity. This is very important. Here the chemistry's Mendeleev periodic table will be helpful, where group 5 impurities are added inside the semiconductor to improve its electrical conductivity as well as to improve the number of electrons. It is called n-type semiconductors. So group 5 dopants are the atoms with an extra electron. In other words, a valence shell with only one electron. The addition of these pentavalent impurities, either you can say group 5 impurities or you can say pentavalent impurities such as antimony, arsenic or phosphorus, which contributes free electrons, greatly increasing the conductivity of the intrinsic semiconductors. So here in n-type semiconductor we have the group 5 impurities with which the excess amount of electron is bombarded. In n-type semiconductor, the majority charge carrier is the electron because the number of electrons are higher, and the minority charge carrier is the hole. Here in this figure, which is the energy band diagram, where you can see here the valence band, conduction band, due to this excess amount of electrons of the added group 5 dopant impurities, the Fermi level is slightly raised to the conduction band, and you can see the band gap between Fermi level and valence band energy level is higher. So when donor impurities are added to an intrinsic semiconductor, allowable energy levels are introduced at very small gap between the conduction band. So conduction band and Fermi energy band are separated by an intermediate level, that is donor energy level, because electrons are working as a donor. And similarly, on the other hand, in p-type semiconductor we will observe the acceptor energy level. The new allowable levels are essentially a discrete level because the added impurity atoms are far apart in the crystal structure and hence their interaction is small. So here from this figure you can see the interaction between silicon and antimony impurities. In the case of silicon, the gap of the new discrete allowable energy level is only 0.05 electron volt, whereas in case of germanium it is 0.01 electron volt below the conduction band. So this was all about the first major type of extrinsic semiconductor. Now we will discuss about the second classified category of extrinsic semiconductor, that is p-type, positive type semiconductor. When a semiconductor is doped with a group 3 impurity, see, in earlier case of n-type semiconductor we have pentavalent impurity, that is group 5. Now here we are using trivalent impurities, that means group 3 impurity is called a p-type semiconductor. Group 3 dopants are the atoms with a hole in their valence shell. So here we have only missing one electron. Excess number of holes are there. The addition of these trivalent impurities such as boron, aluminium or gallium to an intrinsic semiconductor creates deficiency of valence electrons called holes. So here the number of holes in the valence band will be much higher than the number of electrons in the conduction band. So it is quite obvious that the Fermi energy level will slightly lowered towards the valence band, and as I told you earlier that in between the Fermi level and valence band energy level we will observe the acceptor energy level, because these are the missing holes which can further occupy the electrons from the conduction band after an applying external electric field. So in a p-type semiconductor material, the majority charge carrier is the hole and the minority charge carrier is the electron. When acceptor impurities, or you can say p-type impurities, are added to the intrinsic semiconductor, it produces allowable discrete energy levels which is just above the valence band. So here the band gap of p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor plays a major role in their practical, industrial or medical utilization. Since a very small amount of energy, that is 0.08 electron volt for silicon and 0.01 electron volt in case of germanium, which is required for an electron to leave the valence band and occupy the acceptor energy level, holes are created in the valence band by this electron. So here you can see the interaction between the silicon semiconductor and boron impurity. So we have the excess amount of hole which you can visualize over here. So this was all about the explanation of n-type and p-type semiconductors, their energy band diagrams, as well as their examples of group V, that is group 5, or group 3, that are pentavalent or trivalent impurities. This question can be asked in such a way that distinguish between n-type and p-type semiconductors. If they have not mentioned about their energy band diagram, I still suggest that you must draw the energy band diagram, where it clearly suggests that the Fermi energy level is shifting towards the conduction band when there is a n-type semiconductor, and when it lower down towards the valence band, then it is your p-type semiconductor. This question can be asked in 4 or 7 marks, so be prepared in view of your GTU examination. So thanks for visiting this lecture.